I'm Evan Miyazono. I joined Protocol Labs almost a year ago to work on a couple of specific research directions, and also to help overall organize the research effort that we have at Protocol Labs, and I'll mostly be talking about the latter. Before I, going after Juan is great because he always covers things very thoroughly at a high level, and I am mostly just going to briefly recap that we have, we go into research with a certain mentality that is driven by the things that we think are really important. Naturally, research is not something that one should go into unless they really believe in the goals that they're trying to reach. And so I thought it was worth starting off with a bit about the values in general that drive us in our research. One of those, and this is obviously not a complete list, but the first I'd like to highlight is that we are really enthusiastic about sharing as much as we can, whether that's our progress, our struggles, or our accomplishments. And as part of that, we try to make everything open source as soon as we can and as much as possible, document it well. We thoroughly believe that keeping things in the open is the best way to both protect user freedoms and keep things as high quality as possible. In addition, Juan also mentioned that we tend to try and do things well, and I think that's complemented by the fact that we really try to do things that are hard enough and important enough that they're really worth doing. And it's often difficult to strike a balance between those two and timeliness. So between those three, I think that it's easy to say that we try to do things that are worth doing and doing them well, primarily. And then collaboration is also just another thing that we really strongly believe in, and that comes from the fact that we think that progress is non-zero sum. And I'm sure that all of you agree that if you build the right thing well, then everyone should benefit. And so if you start with that direction, you start to look for the kinds of tools that can give you an advantage towards doing these things. And the tools that we seem to keep turning to as incredibly useful are things like decentralization, which is incredibly powerful and helpful when you want to give control of content back to the creators. And with decentralization, you often either need or are aided seriously by trustlessness. There's some amazing work being done in cryptography, and due to a series of recent breakthroughs, it is no longer necessary to trust people in certain contexts. And beyond that, another thing that we keep finding as Protocol Labs is that all too often you'll come across a system that was designed wherein the incentives are misaligned. One person will benefit by cheating the other person, and this is just a problem with the system. You can fix this. You can build a different system, build a better protocol, and have everyone actually incentivized to work with each other and help each other. And as part of that effort, we thought that we should be able to do this with our research, development, and deployment lab. This is a pipeline that can be done transparently and collaboratively and openly, and we can find ways to make sure that everyone wants to help build our superpowers, because who doesn't want more superpowers? And as a result, we have been developing a grant program. You'll find on our blog an announcement of Protocol Labs research in general as an independent team. You'll find there things like the email address research@protocol.ai, which is hopefully easy to remember. And you can just reach out to us with research concerns, questions, comments. possible collaboration ideas. In general, it's probably easier and more efficient to reach us through the GitHub research repo, which is also linked here. But it gives this blog post gives comment or context to the effort, and it gives you all the relevant links. So I thought it was worth bringing up before going into the fact that that blog post also starts talking about the open problems we're posting. We have, within the research repo, a list of open problems that is growing at an increasing rate. And these are problems that we've either come across as roadblocks that we don't have time to spend on them, or it'll be some sort of technological wish list where there's things that seem like they'd be really good to have, but we don't have the bandwidth to look into them, or general cases of specific problems that we see continuously and repeatedly coming up. And so the goal is that these problems will be things that you'll see people coming to discuss, and we'll have problems that range in difficulty from something that you could give a student for a master's thesis all the way to things that you could have a large-scale research group working on for a multi-year effort. These are problems. We currently have 7 posted, and the first 3 are related to, or things we came across when we wanted to develop improvements for Filecoin. The 2 related to CRDTs are what Pedro's going to be talking about next. And you can dig into the rest of them here. And then in conjunction with these, we've also allotted $5 million for a trial request for proposals program, where we have a number of RFPs, and I can actually open this up really quickly, hopefully, maybe. And so it's just the protocol research RFPs repo, linked in the blog post, and you can open up one of these, and you'll see a nice write-up of things like application instructions, award size, and a problem statement that I'll let Pedro dig into. And the hope is that we will continue to build this program. We've already had a surprising amount of success. We've gotten a number of responses on the Filecoin-related RFPs from leading research groups, including 1 or 2 groups that have pioneered the field of data storage. So this is really exciting. It's great having all of you here to hear about the CRDT problems that we're interested in pushing towards. And I will yield the rest of my time for questions.